Dr. Tracy Page, and welcome to Health Made Easy, where we discuss topics focused on hormonal health, weight loss, and wellness. Yes, you heard me. I want to make being healthier easier. Don't get me wrong, we all have to do the work, myself included, but let's make being healthy less complicated. I'll provide clear, simple, and actionable steps that you can implement into your daily life. Really, who doesn't want to feel better? If you're ready to increase your energy, optimize your well-being, and restore your health, then listen up. I love helping my patients and listeners optimize their health and clear away the brain fog, shed the excess weight, improve their mood, and really change the way they age. I am a triple board certified physician, and I created Health Made Easy just for you. Let's get started on today's topic. Hi, welcome. I'm Dr. Tracy Page, and today is episode number 8, and I'd like to talk to you about decision fatigue. Now, this is a term you may or may not be aware of, but we have all suffered from decision fatigue. And when I talk about some examples that I've even had to deal with myself, I'm sure you're going to be able to relate. So I will talk to you today about what decision fatigue is, why it's important, why does it even occur, and then how can you overcome it and give you some strategies in order to help making decisions so much easier, to help you ultimately get to the goals that you want to achieve, and to help you show up and be the person that you want to be. So there is a definition for decision fatigue, and it goes like this. It's described as the emotional and mental strain resulting from a burden of choices. When humans are overstressed by so many choices, we become hasty, we shut down, and then stress plays a role and our behaviors start changing. When we feel overwhelmed, we stop making choices for ourselves. It's just like we want to make it all go away, and we want to pick what is easy, what's doable, and what's convenient. So who hasn't experienced that? I mean, I experience that almost on a daily basis. And this is why I think that this is an important topic, because this podcast is probably going to come out in January, and it's going to be a time when all of you, including myself, are trying to make decisions on our goals for the year, how to be healthy, what to eat, how to manage our stress, what do we want to prioritize. So because we all have to make those decisions, not only for the year, but for the month and for the weeks and for the days, I mean, there isn't a day that passes that 60% of your time is not spent or is spent in making decisions. So that's one of the reasons it's important. Half of everything we do every day is based on our habits, or almost half, 40%. And if you listen to the podcast a while back, I talked about habits and how 40% of what we do every day is a neuronal pathway that's carved into our brain, and it's based on a habit, such as walking, talking, tying our shoes, eating, all of those things we do without even thinking about it. So this is important because I guarantee you're going to face some of the obstacles coming up when you're making decisions. I've, like I said, experienced it in deciding what to eat, what kind of exercise to do, what projects I should tackle first, even what to wear on any given day. Sometimes can feel like a huge decision. It's amazing how much of our energy is spent on making decisions when we're not doing, these ingrained habits like driving our car, brushing our teeth, and tying our shoes, right? So let's talk more about decisions and what makes the fatigue part happen. So when you make a decision, there is a component of willpower. And we all know what the word willpower, we think we know what it means. But it is involved when you have to make decisions between something that serves you and maybe something that doesn't help you show up in the way that you want to show up, okay? So willpower actually works kind of like a muscle. So all of us have exercise in some form or fashion, and you know that when you start working your muscles, they're super sore, they get fatigued really easily, and over time, that gets better. So if you start a new exercise program the day after or 2 days after, you have a lot of post-exercise soreness. It's called delayed onset soreness. And then the next time you go work out, you have some still, but it's a little bit less. And then the third time you work out, it's a little bit less. And then after you've been working out a month, you don't really have that soreness, and your muscles are stronger. And willpower actually works just like a muscle, just the same way. So the more decisions you make, the more fatigued your willpower becomes throughout the day. But the more you use it, the more that you make better decisions, the more that you practice decision making, your decision making gets better and stronger and more effective. All right. So let me give you an example. You have a busy day at work. You're making lots of decisions. So when you get home, you feel totally mentally fatigued. And that's why the chips and the couch usually override or trump going to the gym or finishing an important project. When I come home at night and I'm mentally tired, I have to remind myself I'm mentally tired. I'm not physically tired. So that's one of the first things that I had to really become aware of, because I would think, oh, I'm physically tired. I need to sit on the couch. But really, I didn't need to sit on the couch. I was just mentally tired. I need to give my brain a break. Maybe that's a good time to go for a walk because my body really didn't need a break. So it made it easier to make that decision once I realized it was mental fatigue, not physical fatigue that I was experiencing. There's interesting research that shows that people who work out in the mornings are more likely to stick with an exercise program, and they're more likely to accomplish their goals than those who do it at night. Isn't that interesting? So that decision in the morning makes it so much easier to stick with the goals. That's what we found in exercise research. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't exercise at night. I do share research. I do share generalizations about the population on a whole, but I realize that each person has different needs, different lifestyles, different demands on their life. So if you're someone who exercises at night because it's convenient, it works in your lifestyle, and it allows you to still get in your exercise, more power to you. But again, this is just a generalization to show you that making that decision in the morning tends to associate with a longer, more sustained goal than if you put it off and do it later in the day. And that's going to come up because we're going to talk about how you overcome decision fatigue. All right. Because it has to do with willpower, but not in the way that you suspect. It's like you have to use it over and over again. You have to practice. You have to learn how to make better decisions. You have to learn what you should focus your attention on to make the decisions. And as you do that each time, you get better, and your muscle, which is your decision muscle, gets stronger and becomes more effective. So I'm going to step back. There's actually 3 books that I'm going to reference from this podcast. I'm all about books. I learn so much from books, and I love to share the information because I actually implement what I learn in my life. And not everything. I'm certainly not a perfect person by any means, but I do try to pull out the things that I think are going to help me show up as a better person every day. And I share these with my patients all the time because I'm helping them every day be the best that they can be, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally. I want them to have the same tools that I use, and think of me as vetting them. So I've tried them, I've picked out what really works, and I'm sharing them with you. Okay. So 3 books that I really like that I'm drawing from are Atomic Habits. And I mentioned that one previously by James Clear. Also, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and it's spelled Duhigg, Charles Duhigg. And then Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. So those are 3 books that I personally have read, and I'm going to share some things and some insights that help me overcome decision fatigue, and I think it will help you too. And especially if you're in a time where you're trying to make the best decisions for yourself to, accomplish that physical goal or that weight loss goal, or maybe it's a project goal, whatever it is, hopefully these will help you. So one of the things I wanted to tell you is that what you want to do is you want to plan daily decisions the night before. This will help you. So most of us, the decisions that drain us are the ones that we make over and over and over again. Like I mentioned, or picking out what you're going to wear. So one of the things I did to help decrease my decision fatigue is I started wearing scrubs because I wanted to exercise in the morning. And I was talking to my husband and I said, gosh, I love exercising in the morning. It starts my day off great. I get it done. Nothing else gets in the way. I show up better at work. I'm in a better mood. It's easier to regulate my appetite when I exercise in the morning. There were for me so many benefits to exercise in the morning. I'm stronger in the morning. And he's like, well, why don't you do it? And I was like, oh, well, then I have to shower and I have to do my hair and I have to get dressed and put clothes on. And so I said to him, gosh, what would it look like if it was easy? And I decided if it was easy for me, it would be exercising, getting up at 5:36, exercising, give myself 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much exercise time I wanted, and then jumping in the shower and throwing scrubs on. And I said, throwing scrubs on and putting some Danskos or, clogs on is so much easier than having to worry about what shoes to match with what pants and top and, match your pants and top or your skirt or dress or, it just seemed like that was a lot of stuff to plan. And it was so much easier just to throw scrubs on. So you know what I did? I picked out 5 different colors of scrubs. I ordered them and had them embroidered, and I wear scrubs. And it makes it so much easier. I don't have to think about it. So that's one way that I plan my decisions the night before. I just pull them out. I know exactly what I'm going to wear. I don't have to think about it. I just pick a color and I go for it. So this comes up later, but I felt it was a good example about planning because then I planned. I said, okay, if I'm going to exercise, this is what I'm going to wear. Now, on a day that I don't exercise, and if I want to dress up, I can. So I have that option, but now I have a foolproof plan ahead of time. So, we waste precious willpower on these everyday over and over decisions that we make. And so now I don't have to think about that one. And we really could automate them or plan them in advance. And that way it takes away that draining feeling, either at the end of the day or even at the beginning of the day. So, examples is like I said, what are you going to wear to work? What should you eat for breakfast? So, that's another one that made it really easy for me is when I break my fast, I always have a smoothie. And it's just easy. I know I have protein powder, I use chia seeds for fiber. And a little tidbit is that with a fourth a cup of chia seeds, you get 20 grams of fiber. And we typically recommend at least 30 grams every day. So, I get like, 2/3 of my fiber right away when I do my chia seeds. And then also I put in some greens in there, almond milk, and then some sorts of fat, like a nut butter, like a peanut butter. I do like peanut butter. Some people don't tolerate peanuts very well. Almond butter, cashew butter. So for me, that took away the decision fatigue of what should I do when I break my fast. And so I do a smoothie. And then other decisions that might come up is should I go to the gym after work? Should I go to the dry cleaner? Should I run to the store? So again, if you plan these decisions ahead of time, you don't have to sit and think about it. You just put it on your calendar. I'm going to talk to you about calendarizing in just a moment. But these are all examples that could be decided in 3 minutes or less the night before, which means you won't waste a bunch of time or willpower on the choices that you make the next day. When you take time and you plan out, you simplify, and you make these decisions kind of almost on autopilot, you leave more mental space to make the important choices every day. So I definitely think planning your daily decisions the night before can really help with decision fatigue. If you're looking to create new eating habits and you want an easy and affordable place to find healthy products specific to your goals, consider Thrive Market, where 500,000 plus members share a desire to find better products, support better brands, make better choices, and build a better world in the process. They offer food as it should be made with real ingredients, safe for the environment, fairly priced, and created for your needs. And by the way, it tastes pretty delicious. You can shop by diet and lifestyle. It does not matter if you eat keto, paleo, gluten-free, raw, vegan, organic, Whole30. They have something for everyone. They offer wholesale prices to deliver an average savings of about $30 on every order. If you type in the link http://thrv.me/KSZ, capital JJF, you'll receive a 25% discount off your first order. Also, if you decide to join Thrive Market, you thrive and someone else does as well. Your membership does more than just unlock your own savings. It also provides a membership to someone in need. How great is that? You could help a teacher, a student, a veteran, a first responder, or even someone who is low income. Help some families, help yourself, eat better. It's as easy as a click away. I'll put in the show notes for the link Thrive Market and receive 25% off your first order. Again, the link is http://thrv.me/KSZ, capital JJF. Start eating better, creating healthy habits today. The next thing I want to talk to you about is do the most important thing first thing in the morning. Now, I referenced 3 books in the beginning, and one of those was Eat Your Frogs. And this book is by Brian Tracy. And the reason I like this book is, and I've read it and I actually implemented it myself, is because it taught me not to procrastinate and also to make the most important decisions and plan the most important things to get done first thing in the day. So we all like to cross things off our to-do list. It's called dopamine. When we do something, we cross it off. It feels really good in the brain and you feel accomplished. It's kind of like even when someone likes a picture that you've posted on social media, causes a little hit in the brain saying, ooh, and then you have a dopamine spike and that makes you feel good. Well, when you cross things off your list, just to cross them off, we all have a tendency to work on the low-lying fruit. So we're going to do the things that are easiest, that we can get off the list quickly, and it makes us feel more accomplished. If there's 20 things on the list and you can cross off 15, you're going to feel really accomplished. But I challenge you that it's not about the crossing off that's so important. It's about getting the thing done that's going to move you forward. So, for example, based on the research, when you make your most important decisions first thing in the morning, you'll bring your best attention to it, your most energy, and your most focus. So, the most important thing in your life, whatever it is, whether it's getting in shape, building your business, completing a project, learning, stress management, or spending time with family and friends, whatever it is, you want to plan it first thing in the morning. Whenever you wake up in the morning, and it doesn't have to be as soon as you get out of the bed, but you want to do something early in the day. Brian Tracy wrote in his book, Eat the Frog, he said it's 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. And he really says it's your job to eat a frog, and it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if you have to eat two frogs, you want to do eat the frog that's biggest. So this was a hard concept at first for me to implement, but it has made a world of difference. And I've actually taught this concept to my employees because they want to do well and they want to cross off as many things from their list, but nobody wants to do the thing that's the hardest. No one wants to do the thing that's going to move us the furthest, because usually that's something big. That's something that requires our attention and thought. And, really we have to bring our best selves to the table. But what I've learned is if you do the thing that is going to help move you forward the fastest and the most productive, then you get that done out of the way and you don't spend your time thinking about, oh, I still got to do that thing, whatever that thing is. So, and then you can get rid of those other low lying fruit things and it makes them easy to get off the list. So now I always ask and I always even give frogs next to the things that are most important that I want them to focus their time on. And I do the same for myself. So I pick out 1 to 3 frogs that I want to get done first thing in the morning. And it could be one of my frogs could be exercise. I want to get that done and out of the way. So I know it's important. It helps me show up better. So I get that done first thing in the morning. And then the second thing may be, patient calls or maybe reviewing labs or tests, whatever is going to take a lot of energy and focus. I want to make sure I plan that in the beginning of my day. So I challenge you to do the most important thing first and eat your frog, the thing that's going to advance you and help propel you forward the most. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you about is start making some commitments and stop making decisions. It might sound counterintuitive because this whole talk is on decision fatigue, but I want to talk to you about commitments and calendaring your day. So I learned this technique when I was in the life coach school coaching program. And this is one of the topics that they taught us. And it was about calendarizing your day. And it's really interesting because most of us don't want to calendarize. So let me explain to you what that is. So what you do is, let's say you're sitting down on Sunday and you want to plan your week. All of us make to-do lists. And I don't know about you, but you'll make one to-do list and there's another to-do list. And then pretty soon, so you got 4 things scratched off the first one, then you got 6 off the second one. Then you combine those 2 lists to make a third to-do list. And then you add some more things to it and you're constantly working off to-do list. And some of the most successful people never make a to-do list. And I think the most successful people calendarize their week. So what you want to do is you can still write out your list. So you write out everything, your Sunday night, you write out everything on a piece of paper that you want to get done for the week. Okay. And then you take each item and you put it on your calendar and you actually schedule it. So you schedule a time. How much time do you think it's going to take you to get it done? You put it on your calendar, you set yourself a reminder, and then you get rid of your to-do list because everything is on your calendar. The tricky part is you have to honor your calendar. So on Monday, when it comes up at 10 a.m. and you have to do X, Y, and Z, you need to do it. So if it was, call this person about the IT network, and then at 10:30 it was, contact the licensing company, and then at 11 it was call the phone company, and then at 11:45 it was pay these 4 bills, and then at 12:15 it was like eat lunch, and so you calendarize everything on there. And then you honor that calendar because I guarantee you when that thing comes up, you're going to find 6 other things you want to do, or you're just not going to feel like doing anything. You're going to be like, oh, I don't really feel like doing that. But if you honor your calendar, I guarantee you when the items come up and you do them, at the end of the day, you'll be so amazed at what you've accomplished. You tend to accomplish so much more when you put it on the calendar and you honor your calendar. Okay. Now, a lot of people come back and say, oh, well, I don't want to schedule every minute of the day. And neither did I. I mean, I was like, life is too scheduled already. I don't want to schedule every minute of the day. But what I found is that I actually scheduled in downtime. I scheduled in time to read. I scheduled in time to, relax and hang out with people. And when I scheduled everything, then I was honoring not only my calendar of getting things done, the to-dos, but I was also honoring my downtime. And in fact, I actually had more downtime because I got all my stuff done. So it didn't carry over to the next day and the next day and the next day. So I really encourage you to try calendarizing because you stop making decisions and you start making commitments because you have to be committed to your calendar. So another way that you can kind of look at it is a lot of people say, I really want to lose 40 pounds or I really want to find someone to share my life with and get married. And a lot of times when you say it that way, I really want to, then you're kind of like wishing for it or hoping for it. But instead, you really just want to make it happen. So you'll be much more successful if you schedule things that are important. And I'll give you an example. So I schedule my cardio exercise on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I schedule my lifting weights on Wednesday and Sunday. Now, sometimes that changes, but typically those are my routine times. So I never have to decide on when I'm going to do cardio, when I'm going to do exercise, when I'm going to lift weights. I don't need any willpower. I don't have any decision fatigue. I just have it planned on my calendar. And then once it comes up, I honor it. I go do it. And there are many days when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that today. But I will tell you, I never, ever regret exercising. Like after I do it, I always am grateful that I did it. I always feel better. So, and it's true with everything. Once you get through it, you always feel better on the other side. So you may not want to show up for it. You may not want to do it, but you take away all the decision fatigue if you put it on your calendar and then you show up and honor your calendar and you'll just be amazed at how much you're going to accomplish. Now, the fourth thing I wanted to talk to you about is if you have to make a good decision later in the day, then it's always great to eat something first. And I learned this from Atomic Habits. And actually, it's been shown that you make better decisions after you eat. And I'll just use a perfect example. You never go to the grocery store hungry, right? Because when you go to the grocery store hungry, you make the worst decisions. You buy everything that looks good, what you're craving, things that weren't even on your list. But if you go to the grocery store and you're fully full and you've eaten, you make the best decisions because you don't really care what you're buying. You're just like, oh, I need to get this. It's on my list because you're satiated. You're not hungry, right? So it's a perfect example of why it's better to eat before you make a decision. And I'm not talking about junk food either. I'm talking about, take a break to feed your brain. And that way it will boost your willpower and help you make better decisions. And it's just important that your brain is fully nourished before you make your decisions. And that's one way that you can help yourself make better decisions. And always remember the better decisions you make, usually the better food you put in your body. So they go hand in hand. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is simplifying. So whether you're trying to reach your highest level of performance, you're just starting to eat healthy, there's a lot of frustration about using willpower, trying to get it all done, making sure you can get it all accomplished in the day. And I've suffered from this one. I sometimes plan more than I can accomplish, and I get done less than what I planned, kind of that way. So you want to find ways, he talks about finding ways to simplify your life. And it really is true. I mean, I gave you my scrub example, just picking a color of scrubs makes it really easy. I just throw them on, put a shirt on underneath, and, put my clogs on and I'm out the door, right? It's pretty easy. There was an example that was given, and I really like this one. It stuck in my mind. It was about Warren Buffett. So if you don't know who Warren Buffett is, but he's an elderly gentleman who's quite wealthy, and he made all of his money after the age of 50, and he did so by investing. And he talks about the 20 slots. So he calls it the 20 slot rule and investing. And basically, if he was teaching someone to invest, he would tell them, okay, you get 20 slots on your punch card. And basically, you get 20 opportunities to invest. And once that card is full, you get no more opportunities. And why it's so important is that he believes that if you were using the punch card method and you could only make the investments based on those 20 punches, that you'd make sure that you pick the best investments. You would spend your energy and focus time on achieving the best investments for those 20 slots. You wouldn't waste your time on other things that weren't going to help you accomplish your goal, right? So you wouldn't be looking over here or there, or you wouldn't be contemplating, what should I do? You would be focused on, okay, I have to pick 20 great investments because that's all I get. And that's how I'm going to, reap the profits off those investments. So the key takeaway from his analogy was that your odds of success improve when you're forced to direct all of your energy and attention to fewer things, fewer tasks. There's only 20 spots, right? So if you want to master a skill, you have to be selective with your time, okay? You have to focus on only a few essential tasks and ignore all the distractions. And you have to really, truly commit. And I think this is a perfect time, whether you're listening to this in January when it comes out of 2021, or you're listening to it in 2025 of July. It really doesn't matter, because what matters is however you're trying to show up in the world, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you really have to commit to it. You have to ignore the distractions, and you really have to be selective with your time. And I think this is a true across the board. It was something I had to learn, especially the busier I got. I had to learn to manage my time and make sure that I'm using it wisely. And I'm sure that I'm focused on the things that are going to help me show up to be my best, and the things that help replenish me, like kind of going back to when I made the pyramid and I did the four, lines across the pyramid, building one on each other. And I was like, sleep is my foundation, right? So I make sleep a priority. I'm in bed, ready to go to sleep early, usually 9:30 at the latest. I'm up early, but that's a priority. So I put that first and make sure that I keep it simple, and I make sure that I maintain it in my life. So I'm truly committed to getting my sleep. And it could be exercise, it could be eating, it could be accomplishing a task, it could be a promotion at work. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you want to simplify your life so that you don't have to use so much willpower to make the best decisions. This way you can improve how you show up and what you accomplish. There's a great saying. It says, willpower is one area of life where you can most certainly improve your output by reducing the number of inputs. So I think that's true. And I think that came from that book. So look at your life, think about the decisions you have to make. The others, there's 40% that's habits that we talked about, and they're automatic. And then there's 60% that's decisions. That's not part of your regular habits. And you have to think about how you want to spend that 60% and how you want to spend your brain and energy on the decisions that you have to make. You want to make these decisions that are going to move you forward, help you show up to be the person that you want to be. And, these decisions will help you reach your goals. They'll help you focus your attention, and they'll help you truly commit to those decisions. And just remember, simplify your life, make it easy for yourself, and prioritize what's most important first thing in the morning so that you get it accomplished. And that doesn't matter whether it's exercise, eating right, working on a project you are determined to complete. It all, plays a role in making these best decisions. And I think the hardest thing for me was learning to calendarize. So I strongly encourage you to put it on your calendar, be committed. And when it comes up, just follow through. That's one of the hardest things. Your future self will thank you. I've said that so many times to myself. My future self will thank me if I just follow through on the things that I plan to do. So we've all suffered from decision fatigue, myself included. And rather to stay in that cycle that's not helping, I think reading these books and implementing these habits and then also making better decisions have really helped me move forward. And I hope it helps you in the same way. So like I always say at the end of each podcast is that we can change the way we age. And I also think we can change the way we show up in the world and who we want to be. And it's all tied together, because if you want to change the way you're going to age, you're going to have to change the way you live. And if you want to change the way you live, you're going to have to change your habits, and you're going to have to make better decisions. So I hope this podcast does just that and helps you along that pathway. Okay, take care and get out there and make some good decisions. This is an important reminder. The podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a diagnosis or a prescription for care. Please consult with your healthcare practitioner before moving forward with any of the therapies or treatments discussed in today's podcast. If today's topic resonated with you and you want more information, please check out our website, wisconsinfunctionalmed.com. All one word, wisconsinfunctionalmed.com. Also, for those of you who want further assistance with weight loss, consider our online weight loss program called The Pause, which can be found under services. We really focus on helping you reach your weight loss goals. We provide a supportive and interactive and engaging environment, which is led by me, Dr. Tracy Page, so you can get all the help you need. Remember, you can change the way you age, and I'm here to help.